Religion saves.
Whoa.
Yeah, bold statement, right?
That's a big one to start off with.
But that's what this whole deep dive's going to be about, right? This idea that connecting to something bigger,
Okay.
whether it's, spirituality, faith, whatever you want to call it,
Meaning a purpose.
could be like the key
Yeah.
to a really fulfilling life.
It's like we as humans have always searched for meaning in some way or another.
Right.
Whether it's, through myths
Right.
or philosophies, modern philosophies.
Right.
Everyone's looking for something beyond
Right.
the day-to-day.
Beyond just like getting through the day.
Exactly.
Yeah, totally.
And for many people, that's always been religion.
Yeah, and we're not just talking about, robes and incense, although, hey, if that's your jam, go for it.
Exactly.
We're talking about this core idea of believing in something bigger.
Yeah.
Something that gives you purpose.
Right.
Can actually make you a happier person.
More resilient.
More resilient. Yeah, exactly.
When you think about when you're going through something tough,
Right.
what gets you through it?
Yeah.
Is it your family, your friends,
Yeah.
your community? Or is it something deeper? Is it a sense of
Yeah.
faith
Right.
that everything's going to be okay?
Like it's all part of a plan, even when it
Exactly.
feels totally chaotic.
Exactly.
Right. It's like an anchor in a storm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one guy who really wrestled with this whole meaning of life thing was Leo Tolstoy.
Of course.
Yeah, the
War and Peace.
War and Peace guy. Yeah.
Yes.
But he wasn't just a brilliant novelist.
He was much more than that.
He was like a
Philosopher.
deep thinker who went on this whole crazy spiritual journey.
Yeah, he really did.
So tell me about that.
Well, he started out living like the high life, right? Wealth, fame, everything you could possibly imagine.
The whole 9 yards.
Absolutely. But he realized he wasn't happy. He was looking around and seeing a lot of the elite chasing empty pleasures.
Okay.
And he was just thinking it just felt hollow to him.
But like that whole money can't buy you happiness thing.
Yes, exactly.
But like on another level.
On a much deeper level.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So what did he do? He just like completely ditched that.
He did.
And he went and hung out with peasants.
Yeah.
Okay.
He saw the simple people who had very little in terms of material possessions,
Right.
but had so much peace
Right.
and joy
Okay.
and a sense of purpose.
And their faith gave them that?
yeah.
Okay.
Their faith gave them this incredible sense of purpose
Okay.
that Tolstoy was looking for.
And so it wasn't just like,
Blind faith.
yeah, like blind faith. It was like it actually translated into action.
Exactly.
They lived differently.
They did. They were kind, generous, always helping each other out.
So their faith gave them this.
Resilience.
Yeah, the strength.
Strength and resilience
yeah.
that he was really craving.
Okay, so we've got Tolstoy ditching the high life,
Right.
finding inspiration in these simple, devout peasants.
Yes.
But how does this religion saves idea actually play out
Right.
in real life? I mean,
Yeah.
not all religious people
Of course.
are saints, right?
Right. And there's plenty of non-religious people who are amazing people.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So how do we
Just how do we balance that?
how do we balance that? How does that work?
It's not about judging individuals or even saying that one belief system is superior to another. What we're talking about is how throughout history,
Right.
religion has played this huge role in shaping moral codes,
Right.
fostering community, providing a sense of hope
Right.
in the face of suffering.
Right. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Like think about those acts of compassion
Yes.
and selflessness we see all the time, right? People
Volunteers.
risking their lives to help others.
Yes, absolutely.
Communities coming together,
Oh, behind
food
that.
banks to support people in need. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of that is fueled by
A deep sense of faith.
a deep sense of faith and belief.
Absolutely.
So it's like, even if you don't consider yourself religious,
Right.
you can't deny a power of those ideas.
You cannot.
Love, compassion, forgiveness, like that stuff.
It's powerful.
It's powerful stuff.
Yeah.
And it's inspired art, music,
literature. Social movements.
social movements. Yeah.
I mean, it's woven into the fabric of human civilization.
It's everywhere.
It is.
You can't escape it.
It's everywhere.
So it's like, even if you don't say I'm, quote unquote religious,
Right.
chances are you've been touched by these ideas in some way.
Absolutely.
Right.
Think about the golden rule.
Yeah.
Treat others how you want to be treated. It's a
Right.
universal concept.
Right.
And it's in both religious and secular philosophies.
Yeah, totally.
And it speaks to that need
Right.
for connection, for belonging, for something bigger than ourselves.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah,
So Tolstoy, he wasn't the only one wrestling with these big questions,
of course not.
right? I mean, there were
Plenty of others. Philosophers.
tons of thinkers and philosophers
Yes.
who have different takes on this whole meaning of life thing.
Of course. Yeah, absolutely.
So who are some other people?
Well, I mean, there's some
Who had some interesting ideas?
well, I mean, someone like Nietzsche. Oh, he
Skeptic.
was skeptical of traditional religion.
Okay.
He saw it as a crutch,
Okay.
something that was holding people back
Okay, so he's like,
from reaching their full potential.
yeah, he's not on board with the religion saves idea.
Not so much.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what was he about then?
He was all about individual will,
Okay.
self-reliance, creating your own meaning
Okay.
in a world without God.
Okay.
So a very different perspective.
So like a pull yourself up by the bootstraps kind of thing.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got Tolstoy on team religion.
Yes.
We've got Nietzsche on team
Team Superhuman.
Team Superhuman. I like that.
Yeah.
Who else we got?
And then there's guys like Camus who are like, hey,
Okay.
there's no meaning to life at all.
Whoa.
It's all absurd.
What? Hold on.
Yeah.
So what's the point then?
Yeah.
According to Camus, why even bother
I know.
getting out of bed?
Yeah, and that's where Camus gets really interesting because he says that lack of meaning is actually liberating.
Okay.
We're free to create our own purpose,
Okay.
define our own values,
Okay.
and rebel against that absurdity
Okay.
by living a passionate and authentic life.
Okay, that's a whole other deep dive.
It is.
We got to get into that.
Yes.
So we got faith, self-reliance, embracing the absurd.
It's a philosophical buffet.
It's a buffet. I love it.
Yes.
But before we get lost in the existential sauce,
Right.
let's bring it back to Tolstoy for a minute.
Okay.
He didn't just talk the talk.
He walked the walk.
Walk the walk, right?
He did. He did. He really did.
He wasn't just theorizing about life from an armchair.
Right. He wasn't just an armchair philosopher.
He actually lived it, right?
He did, yeah.
So he went from being, this wealthy count
Mm-hmm.
to basically giving it all up.
Pretty much.
Living simply, working with his hands.
Yeah. Helping the poor.
Helping the poor.
Trying to really embody those principles.
Okay, so Tolstoy's putting his money where his mouth is.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing it wasn't all like sunshine and roses, right?
Well, he was human.
He was human, yeah.
Of course.
Did he ever struggle
Oh, yeah.
with his own beliefs?
Oh, absolutely. He was very open about his own flaws and contradictions.
Right,
He struggled with anger, pride, even in moments of doubt.
right,
But I think that's what makes him so relatable.
right, yeah,
He wasn't some perfect saint.
right.
He was just a guy trying to figure things out.
Yeah, like the rest of us.
Like all of us, yeah.
So it's like he's saying, hey, I'm messing up too, but
But I'm trying.
I'm still trying.
Yeah, I'm still trying to live a good life.
Yeah, and that makes him more inspiring, don't you think?
I think so, yeah.
Because it's not coming from like some,
Pedestal.
yeah, he's not like preaching from a pedestal.
Right.
He's like,
he's right there in the trenches with us.
he's in the trenches
Yeah.
with us, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, so we've talked about Tolstoy's like personal journey,
right.
but let's dig a little deeper into this whole religion saves idea.
Okay.
What exactly did he mean by that?
Yeah.
Was it just about like following a specific religion?
Not really, no, because he was actually very critical of
Okay.
organized religion,
Okay.
especially the hypocrisy he saw in
Okay.
the Russian Orthodox Church.
Okay.
So for him, it was more about the core principles
Okay.
of love, compassion, service to others.
So it's more about how you live your life
Yes.
than like what you specifically
Exactly.
Exactly.
It's about aligning your actions with those principles.
Right.
How you treat other people, how you contribute to the world,
Right.
how you find meaning and purpose.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this religion saves idea
Yeah,
can actually go beyond
it can.
just traditional religion, right?
It absolutely can.
It's like
It's like a blueprint.
it's a blueprint for living a good life,
Exactly.
regardless of what you
Regardless of your specific beliefs.
believe. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
So Tolstoy, he really focused on this idea of resist, not evil.
He did.
What did he mean by that?
Well, for Tolstoy, it was all about breaking that cycle
Okay.
of violence and retaliation.
Okay.
It was about choosing love over hate,
Right?
even when faced with aggression or injustice.
Okay, it sounds kind of radical.
It does,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, turning the other cheek isn't always easy.
No, it's not.
Especially when someone's like trying to take advantage of you.
Right, but he believed that real strength
Right.
came from not giving in
Okay.
to that anger or the need for revenge.
Right.
He saw it as the only way to truly break free
Right.
from suffering and create a more just and compassionate world.
So it's about like rising above,
Yes.
choosing a higher path.
A higher path, exactly.
Even when it's hard.
Even when it's really difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and Tolstoy wasn't just talking about like personal conflicts.
No, he applied this to social and political issues as well.
Oh.
He was a pacifist.
Okay.
He spoke out against war and violence.
Right.
And he was a huge advocate for nonviolent resistance
Right.
as a way to create positive thing.
Wow, that's pretty heavy stuff.
It
I
is.
mean, this guy was living a time of like massive social upheaval,
Exactly.
political turmoil, right?
A lot of turmoil.
It must have taken some serious courage
It did.
to stick to his principles.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he wasn't afraid to, like, challenge the status quo.
No, not at all.
He was criticizing the government, speaking out against injustice.
He even renounced his own wealth and privilege
Whoa.
because he saw it as compatible with his beliefs.
So he was really walking the walk
He really was.
in a big way.
He was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how did people react to his ideas?
Well,
Did everyone think he was, like, a genius?
I mean, he was definitely a controversial figure.
Right.
Some people really admired him
Right.
for his courage and his commitment to those ideals.
Right.
But others saw him as a radical,
Okay.
a troublemaker, even a heretic.
Right. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
But even his critics had to, like, respect his
Sincerity.
yeah, his sincerity.
Yes.
He was truly living
By his conviction.
by his convictions, no matter the cost.
No matter the cost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his ideas continue to inspire and challenge people
They do.
to this day,
Yeah.
right? Because they tap into something.
Something very fundamental
Right.
about the human experience, this yearning for meaning, for purpose, for a better world.
Right. And that's what makes this whole religion saves idea so
I
fascinating.
think so.
It's not about, like, blind faith
Yeah.
or following some, like, rigid dogma.
Exactly.
It's about recognizing the power of those.
Core principles.
Yeah, love, compassion, service,
Mm-hmm.
and how they can, like, totally transform our lives
They can.
and the world around us.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've explored, like, Tolstoy's philosophy.
Right.
But I'm curious to hear more about those other perspectives
Yes.
we touched on earlier.
Yeah, sure.
Like Nietzsche and his idea of the Superman.
Okay.
What was he all about?
Well, Nietzsche was a bit of a rebel.
Okay.
He challenged traditional morality and religion.
Right.
He was arguing that they are actually holding humanity back
Okay.
from reaching its full potential.
Okay.
He truly believed in the power of the individual will.
Okay.
You know, this ability to create your own values and overcome any obstacle.
So it's kind of like a pull yourself up by the bootstraps kind of philosophy.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
He believed that true strength came from embracing life's challenges,
Right.
from pushing your limits,
Right.
forging your own path.
So he kind of saw suffering as, like, necessary part of growth.
Absolutely.
Right.
And he really encouraged people to embrace that inner strength
Right.
and become supermen.
Okay. And so what did he mean by superman?
Individuals who transcended conventional morality
Okay.
and created their own destinies.
Okay, that's definitely a different perspective
Very different.
than Tolstoy's
Yeah.
emphasis on humility and non-resistance.
Very different, yeah.
But I can see how both philosophies
Mm-hmm.
could be appealing
Absolutely.
in different ways.
I think it depends on where you are in your life,
Right, totally.
what you're looking for.
Right, yeah.
What resonates with you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of philosophy,
Yeah,
right?
six.
It gives you, like, these different lenses
It
to
does.
view the world.
Mm-hmm.
It encourages us to question our assumptions.
Yes.
Consider different perspectives.
Absolutely.
And ultimately find what resonates with us
Find your own truths.
on a personal level.
Yeah, your own truth.
Yeah. So it's not about, like, saying one philosophy is right and
Right.
the other's wrong.
Right.
It's about finding what works for you.
Exactly.
What helps you navigate the complexities of life
Mm-hmm.
and find your own path
Your own path,
to
yeah.
meaning and fulfillment.
To meaning and fulfillment, exactly.
Okay, so we've talked about Tolstoy's religion saves
Yes.
Nietzsche's Superman.
Yes,
But what about Camus?
right.
He seemed like pretty convinced that life was meaningless.
He did, yeah.
So how did he find any kind of purpose
Right.
or motivation?
That's what makes Camus so interesting, because
Right.
he believed that absence of inherent meaning
Right.
was actually liberating.
Okay.
He saw it as an opportunity to create our own meaning,
Okay.
to define our own values,
Right.
and to rebel against that absurdity of existence
Right.
by living a passionate and authentic life.
So instead of searching for meaning in some, like, preordained plan,
Right.
we just create our own.
We create our own, yeah.
Okay.
And for Camus, this rebellion wasn't about anarchy or nihilism.
Right.
It was about finding joy and meaning
Okay.
in the simple things in art,
Right.
in nature, in human connection.
Right.
It was about embracing the present moment
Okay.
and living life to the fullest, even in the face of uncertainty and suffering.
Wow, that's actually pretty inspiring.
It is.
You know,
yeah.
so even in the face of meaninglessness,
So purpose.
we can still find purpose and joy.
Absolutely.
It's like turning lemons into lemonade on an existential level.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And he believed that this kind of rebellious spirit, this embrace of the absurd,
Right.
was the only way to truly live a free and authentic life.
Okay, so we got Tolstoy's faith,
Yes.
Nietzsche's self-reliance,
Mm-hmm.
and Camus's embrace of the absurd.
Yes.
Talk about different approaches to life.
Yeah, there's so many.
It's like it is a philosophical buffet,
It is.
right? You kind of pick and choose.
Pick and choose what works for you.
What resonates with you?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
But how do these different philosophies like play out in the real world?
That's a great question.
Can we actually see them in action?
Oh, absolutely. I think so.
Okay.
I think if you think about social movements,
Okay.
for example, Tolstoy's ideas
Right.
of love and nonviolence influence figures like Gandhi
Right.
and Martin Luther King Jr.,
Right.
who led these massive movements for social change through peaceful resistance.
So like turning the other cheek
Yes,
on a global scale.
on a global scale.
That's pretty powerful stuff.
It is powerful, yeah.
What about Nietzsche's philosophy? Does that translate
I think it does.
into real world action?
I think so.
Okay.
I think Nietzsche's emphasis on individual strength,
Right.
self-creation, you can see that in entrepreneurial ventures,
Okay.
artistic innovations,
Right.
even personal transformations.
Right.
It's about pushing boundaries,
Right.
challenging the status quo,
Right.
forging your own path.
Okay, so we got peaceful revolutionaries.
Yes.
And boundary pushing innovators?
Yes, exactly.
What about Camus's embrace of the absurd?
Mm-hmm.
Does that manifest in the real world too?
I think so. I
Like-
think if you think about artists,
Yeah.
writers, musicians who create beauty and meaning
Right.
out of the chaos of existence,
Right.
or individuals who choose to live life to the fullest,
Right.
you know, embracing new experiences, traveling, personal connections, even in the face of life's uncertainties.
Yeah, so it's almost like these different philosophies
Mm-hmm.
are different lenses
They
through
are.
which we view the world.
Yes.
And depending on the lens,
Mm-hmm.
we see different possibilities.
Yes.
Different paths to meaning
Different paths. Yeah.
and fulfillment.
Yeah.
It's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it.
It is mind-blowing, yeah.
But let's bring it back
Okay.
to this whole religion saves idea.
Right, because even though we've been talking about all these different philosophies, whether it's faith, self-reliance, embracing the absurd,
Right.
there's a common thread running through them all.
What's that?
The search for meaning.
Right.
You know, whether you find that through religion or philosophy or your own personal journey,
Right.
this yearning for something bigger than ourselves,
Right.
something that gives our lives purpose,
Right.
seems to be a universal human experience.
So it's like we're all wired for meaning, whether we realize it or not.
Exactly, and that's what Tolstoy was getting at with this religion says idea.
Oh,
It's not
okay.
necessarily about subscribing to a specific dogma,
Right.
but about recognizing that need for connection, for
Right.
something that transcends our everyday existence.
Okay, so let's say I'm listening to this and I'm thinking, all right, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, purpose, that's all important stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But where do I even start?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And there's no one-size-fits-all answer, but I think Tolstoy would say, start by looking inward.
Okay.
He believed that true meaning wasn't found in external things like wealth
Right.
or status,
Right.
or even blind adherence to dogma.
Okay.
It's about cultivating your inner world,
Okay.
connecting with your own conscience,
Okay.
living a life of love, compassion, service to others.
So it's like that classic know myself
Yes,
combined with a healthy dose of like altruism.
absolutely.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
So it's a continuous journey,
It is.
not a destination.
A process.
Yeah, it's about constantly like questioning,
Seeking.
striving.
To live in alignment
Yeah.
with your values.
And maybe that's the real takeaway from all of this,
I think so.
right?
Yeah.
Whether you find meaning in religion or philosophy or your own unique blend of beliefs and values,
Mm-hmm.
the key is to keep searching,
Keep circling.
keep growing,
Keep growing.
and keep striving to connect with that something more.
Yes.
That gives you purpose and makes you feel truly alive.
Beautifully said.
So much to ponder, right? We journeyed from Tolstoy's radical simplicity to Nietzsche's bold individualism to Camus's embrace of the absurd,
Right.
to those quiet moments of personal reflection where we define our own meaning.
Yes.
If this deep dive has sparked even a tiny flicker of curiosity in you, dear listener,
Mm-hmm.
consider that a success.
Yeah,
The search for meaning is your own,
it is.
but you don't have to undertake it alone.
No.
Keep exploring, keep questioning.
Yes.
And who knows what you might discover.
Who knows?
Until next time, happy diving.
Okay.